Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft 2 replay cast, a very recent replay cast from the year 2023, and quite an interesting engagement we have here. A nice international engagement in between the two pro players. So let me just start by introducing them to you. As we have spawning here in the upper left in the red, it is Oliveira, aka Time, from China. A new prodigy, a very skilled player finally from China, not South Korea or Europe or America. We have a new very strong player, strong Terran player, but his opponent here spawning in the lower right as the blue Terran. It is actually CLEM from France, a very known, skilled Terran player from the European scene, also a very young player, together with Rainer, so one of the youngest pros we have here in the scene. So quite an interesting engagement, all Terran engagement here on Gray's Van, as CLEM is opening up here with double gas, spawning pool, supply depot and barracks. And we also have pretty much the same build order, I believe. Yes, indeed. So both players staying loyal to the build order. I believe this could be the Terran versus Terran build order, just in case you're a Terran player and you want to see perhaps a difference. We're about to find out what exactly the next steps are going to be. Is it going to be mass bio? Is it going to be mass mech, tanks, vultures, and so on? So yeah, we're about to find out. I believe, sorry, Hellions, not vultures. Vultures are of course in StarCraft Broodwars. There will be many Broodwar casts onto this channel, very recent also replays, which I found from 2023, so I am going to be trying to be as active as possible. So yeah, another supply depot here for CLEM. Let's see if he's going to continue indeed with his factory, perhaps a starport. Let's check Oliveira, or should I call him Time here? No, he's actually going for a factory as well. Yeah, pretty much the same build order for both players, one Reaper for him, the other Reaper for CLEM as well. You can see of course the production tab, it looks pretty much the same here, so nothing out of the ordinary, no differences yet in between the two pro players. Yeah, the Reapers are just scouting perhaps for some proxy barracks, but no such thing here for any one of them. So yeah, the pretty standard stuff. It looks like it's going to be factory about to get finished. Same thing here, and it would be interesting to see if they'll go for another expansion or perhaps for a starport. Hellions it is for Time, and CLEM also going for an Hellion. So I believe this could be a push with some Reapers, with some Hellions, just to try to damage the economy from the opponent. But it would be interesting to see, like I told you, what the next building is going to be. And it looks like CLEM is going for a starport indeed. Let's check Oliveira also for a starport, so no second command center expansion point, straight into a starport. As yeah, no harassment is being done yet, as we are closing in here towards the 5-minute mark, but slowly but steadily Oliveira is actually the one moving on with his Reaper, just checking the proximity, just staying here close with his Hellions, perhaps wishing to damage the economy, to try to snipe perhaps some SCVs. But CLEM really smart with this one. We don't mind, very strong defense for him, just in case some Reapers, just in case some Hellions are approaching. He will deal massive amounts of splash damage. So the first Hellion is approaching. Let's have a look how much damage, and he pretty much nicely kites his Hellion back and forth, sensing that there might be some sort of a defense here with a mine. Already taking some damage. The Reapers are also close by. 3 actually, they could jump here off to this ledge and just attack the SCV. This is exactly why CLEM is adding those supply depot into this area, this supply depot here as well, just to give him vision as much as possible, as the first Reaper might try to jump here forward. Let's have a look. We actually see a command center here for Time. We also see him go for a Raven. Let's have a look. Is there going to be a Raven indeed for CLEM, and a Cyclone as well? No second expansion for him. It's still a very defensive gameplay here by CLEM. Same can be said here of course by Oliveira. He tried to be a little bit sneaky with his one Hellion, but yeah, CLEM plays it really nicely, very defensively. This of course gives the chance to Oliveira to take another expansion point. But hold on, we actually might see a move out now finally for CLEM. I believe he just waited and he might try to attack. He's moving out, trying to search of course for those Reapers, and by the same time of course he's also adding his command center. So pretty much the same build order, perhaps Oliveira with his command center a little bit faster. Some tanks have been added. You can see of course the production tab in the upper left part. So the defenses will be established here by Oliveira. The same can be said really soon by CLEM. So this is obviously the Terran versus Terran. Of course, the siege tanks make it really hard to engage, to move forward, especially when those siege tanks are on the high ground, just like here. The ramp is really hard to attack here. Hold on, we actually see some losses. Sorry about this one. 3 SCVs have been sniped. I believe it was those Reapers. Let's check. Yes, indeed, they have some kills. So those Reapers, luckily here for CLEM, moved forward, but at the same time they will be sniped. So 3 SCVs for 3 Reapers. I believe a fair trade and a good trade actually here for Oliveira, as he's now moving out with his forces. So the Reaper very likely probably made their way here into this expansion point and sniped those 3 SCVs. Now let's have a look. Oliveira tries to move forward, but it's going to be very hard, of course, against all of those units here from CLEM. So both players are now establishing their expansions. Oliveira being a little bit faster than his opponent. And yeah, nice secure here with those siege tanks. Same can be said here for CLEM. Both players leaving 2 siege tanks, Ravens in the air. And yeah, Oliveira now tries to perhaps be lucky here. It could be a good possibility for him. Not that many defenses here into this location, so he might try to snipe some SCVs. But yeah, both players are just nicely scouting the map. At the same time, we see actually an army move out here by Oliveira, so he's feeling really confident. Perhaps he's trying to cause some panic here towards CLEM. CLEM at the same time also moving out with his units. And yeah, those Raven in the air. Hold on, actually, we do see those Reaper coming in here forward, and 2 SCVs have been sniped, but the Cyclone is there to defend this location. So yeah, the Ravens will be used, of course, to disable those tanks. So quite interesting. Once again, Oliveira on the defense, just moved out a little bit and retreated back home. So yeah, no major engagement, of course, yet, as we are slowly but steadily closing in towards the 10-minute mark. Still quite an interesting and strategic gameplay. Let's just check the main massive barracks now here for Oli. Let's just check. CLEM is only at 3 barracks now, so not building any extra barracks. As Oliveira looks like he's going straight to mass bio, mass marines, mass stim, of course, with medivacs. And yeah, still holds his ground. The same can be said here for CLEM. So it's a waiting game for both players. Some Cyclones are patrolling the map. Same can be said here for CLEM. Both players are just patrolling the map just to have vision. And yes, still, of course, no major engagement as the tanks are on standby. Same can be said here for CLEM, also on standby. So no weapons and armor has been upgraded yet. See, of course, here everything. And yes, still patrolling here the map. Marines as well, so some units will be very likely sacrificed here, but yes, just to see if there has been any other expansion established by the enemy. Let's check CLEM once again, and he's now also going for his 5 barracks pretty soon to be. Oliveira already having those up, and he's also acting those reactor and even adding more factories. Ravens on the patrol. Turrets here just in case some benches are coming here forward. CLEM also thinking about some benches, so he's also adding some turrets, but yeah, no such thing. And of course those turrets will also attack the medivacs, so I believe this is the time when we might see an attack with medivacs around the 8-minute mark. Both players are closing very slowly but steadily towards their enemy bases. Still, of course, really hard to attack. Let's have a look who is going to have the courage to attack first. Very calculated, very strategic gameplay, and this mine actually getting a good connection. Snaps some marines, but in the end is being taken out. So CLEM now knows where the attack is very likely going to happen. He's sending out some marines here. He might try to add a turret or 2. But no, just simply patrolling the map. Now Oliveira is finally establishing his other base. Worker-wise, he has 3 more workers than CLEM. Same can be said here for CLEM, so quite a nice game by both players. Pretty much the same build order, pretty much the same strategies. And yeah, let's just see who is going to have the courage to attack first. Every mistake will, of course, cost a lot. This is why exactly those siege tanks are so important for both players, and it looks like CLEM feels really confident to move out. He's perhaps going to split his troops. He's attacking here. The Marines already taking quite some splash damage. Takes out a sensor tower, but at the same time his huge army is moving here forward. However, Oliveira is scanning the area. He saw this with his 1 marine. And yeah, perhaps CLEM is going to try to attack on a double fence here. So see Oliveira once again going for his high ground, being on the defense, expecting CLEM to attack. CLEM splitting his troop. Post player pretty much maxed out. Might try to regroup his units. Might try to straight forward for a huge attack, perhaps in the middle of the map. We're about to find out if this is going to happen here. He has the high ground. Might try to snipe some units. Let's have a look. Steam is up for both players. Good position here for CLEM as he's going to be able to take a good flank. Nice disables here by CLEM, but the same can be said here for Oliveira. But the infantry from CLEM pretty much being taken out. There was also some Vikings in the air taking care of those medivacs, so it looks like Oliveira with a good engagement here. But in the end, the reinforcements for CLEM are on their way, but you know, so many tanks are still being left alive. So CLEM in the end, with those tanks, having more tanks than his opponent, but he needs to be careful not to miss micro the other tanks. Losing 2 more tanks, also losing a medivac. Pretty fair trade by both players. You can see it, but CLEM army-wise still now finally recovering. So the tanks, given the fact that the tanks were much more in numbers versus his opponent, gave the advantage here for CLEM in the end. His infantry sadly has been quickly taken out by the other tank. Great disables by both players with the Ravens in the air. And let's see, CLEM is moving now forward. Reinforcements are also on the way. Same can be said of course here for Oliveira as he's establishing his defenses. So quite a very interesting game by both players. Still anyone's game of course. Upgrade wise, we've seen now finally the upgrades here. APM is also really high. Tank has been sniped, but the infantry immediately getting retreated. But at the same time we can see of course CLEM expanding all over the map. Oliveira also will be doing this really soon. We actually see some liberators in the air. The tanks are attacking the infantry. The high ground is of course here for Oliveira, really important. He's going to try to snipe some of those medivacs, and slowly but steadily CLEM is moving forward, but the vision is there for Oliveira with his Vikings in the air. So he needs, of course, CLEM needs to be very careful. There are 5 tanks here, another one is coming forward. So yeah, very hard to attack, like I told you, onto this one ledge, and at the same time we have some medivacs here with some marines. So CLEM once again repositioning. Perhaps he's thinking that his opponent has an expansion into this location, but no such thing yet by Oliveira. So yeah, still quite an interesting game. CLEM approaching here for the sensor tower. We'll see this. He needs to siege up as quickly as possible. Nice steam going up. So many siege tanks here dealing massive amounts of splash damage. The infantry is in the front. The planetary fortress is getting repaired, but some cities will very likely fall here as well. So much splash damage is being dealt. So CLEM with a very nice move forward, giving him the economic advantage. Now he's at 84 workers versus the 76. His expansion here is still up. His infantry is also nicely moving forward, and he actually is keeping moving forward. Some SCVs will fall here sadly for Oliveira a little bit mismicroed here. So nice job here by CLEM, actually taking out Sui, and gas is also being taken out. So Oliveira is clumping up together in the middle of the map, centering his units, sieging up here, finding a good position, but here comes the infantry. There are some tanks here for CLEM. He might try a pincer maneuver against this, but Oliveira actually seems to be ignoring this. So we are going into a base trade scenario really soon. Oliveira pretty much has all of his units here in the middle of the map. Moving forward, CLEM is still split up. His tanks are here as well. So the main attack is going to happen very likely here into this Sui command center location. One has been taken out, the second one here as well. Lots and lots of ravens in the air. Some infantry is here for CLEM, but in the end, so much massive amounts of units here for Oliveira's. These siege tanks might take out some SCVs here. Some reinforcements are coming back here for CLEM. CLEM knows that this is going into a base trade scenario, so he's also attacking here. So quite interesting stuff here. Oliveira already making it here forward into the main from CLEM. Some tanks will be sniped, but the tanks really have to siege up as quickly as possible. Anti-armor shield has also been used, but lots and lots of damage against the infantry here for Oliveira, as the medivacs are still healing the infantry from CLEM. The siege tanks now are attacking the production buildings from CLEM, and CLEM actually has to retreat back home as quickly as possible. But yeah, not that much infantry is being left here for Oliveira. Just a couple of tanks. And yeah, CLEM slowly but steadily makes his way forward. Oliveira still has so many Vikings in the air, so in case the buildings will be upsieged, he is able to take them out. So medivacs will fall here as well, and now finally all of the infantry, even the SCVs, have to be pulled. So quite an interesting move here by Oliveira, very risky move, but in the end I believe it was worth it for him, as he has forced a pullback by CLEM, and CLEM also losing those 3 command centers here into this location. Quite a strong move here by Oliveira, and at the same time he's going to lose this one here as well. So the Vikings for Oliveira proving really strong versus CLEM. So some long distance mining is happening here for CLEM. Really hard situation for him, having more workers, but Oliveira really punishing him, even taking out some reactors. This barracks almost taken out. Actually it is being taken out, so CLEM not repairing this one. He's still, however, really strong onto those barracks, but we see now some interesting looking tanks here. I believe this is a anti-armor shield, but the tanks look really whitish, just like the Abrams tanks from the United States of America into the Gulf War from Iraq. So quite interesting color here from those tanks, so really nicely done here. So yeah, let's just see what's going to happen here. Siege tanks are moving out, attacking more and more of those units. Nice scan just to give him vision into this one base. Yeah, and he's moving forward with his infantry, takes out as much as he can. The Vikings, however, here for Oliveira are really doing a nice job. CLEM not having any Vikings in the air, and Oliveira really having so many Vikings against the Medivacs, against the uplifted buildings, even against the Ravens. So quite an interesting strategy by him. Yeah, worker wise, CLEM actually having more workers than Oliveira, so the economy looks to be back in favor for CLEM as soon as he has to establish the new bases. And yeah, now CLEM feeling really confident, massive amounts of marines with STIM taking care of everything, but the infantry from Oliveira is also really strong. So yeah, still a balanced game, a very interesting game. Both players are trying to lure, of course, themselves, their units in towards those siege tanks, in towards those meat grinders. Only 2 siege tanks here for Oliveira, while CLEM is really strong onto his siege tanks, but the reinforcements are moving forward, while Oliveira is also preparing once again a dropship attempt into perhaps the main, once again into perhaps the production buildings by CLEM. We're about to find out if this is going to work out. So Oliveira not so strong onto those tanks, just 2 siege tanks for him. He is deciding perhaps to attack from the back. We're about to see there are the Medivacs going straight towards the main from CLEM. And yeah, CLEM also tries to attack here with lots and lots of Medivacs, but the Vikings are really close by, so he needs to be careful. One Medivac is about to be taken out. At the same time, in comes the drop from Oliveira with his infantry, taking out a tank, taking out a barracks, and yeah, the factory is also falling here. So nice job here by Oliveira. Once again, CLEM has pretty much retreated with everything he has. The production buildings are pretty much under attack, so Oliveira with a small group, a double group of marines, being able to take out all of those production buildings. Starport has been taken out, the barrack, reactors has been taken out, so at the same time he forced CLEM to move back with his units, and at the same time he secured his expansions, but there's still some tanks being left behind by CLEM, so of course, just to take care of that, he might intercept the units here from Oliveira. Like I told you, there are no Vikings in the air for CLEM, only Oliveira has those Vikings. Proved to be really a smart decision by him. And now we see some disabled, we see anti-armor at both infantry and equipage. Huge engagement here, lots and lots of disablers against the tanks. The infantry are doing their best job. Siege tanks are a little bit slow for Oliveira to siege it up, but still so much damage is being taken here by both players. In the end, only the siege tanks and the Vikings are being left alive. CLEM looks like he has a small advantage here. He still has some infantry as reinforcements. The Vikings might try to land here really soon. Yes, indeed, they will land and take out as much as they can, but yeah, in the end reinforcements are coming in, but Oliveira having a good position. His Vikings are really low. Such a balanced, a strong game by both players as we're closing in towards the 20-minute mark. Really nicely done here for both players, but still the economy looks in favor for CLEM. He has many more workers, he has many more expansions here out on the map. We're about to find out if this is going to work for him. For Oliveira, and the position here of those tanks really smart. At the same time, this one tank is also really nicely being repaired here, so interesting move here by Oliveira, but still some cities will fall. CLEM decides to attack, takes out the tank, has a good position with his other tank. The Vikings might try once again to land, but yeah, Oliveira will hold his position and he's forcing a pullback by CLEM. However, like I told you, if this game continues like this, CLEM will have the economic advantage. So Oliveira needs to be thinking about something to come back into this game really soon. He decides to move out with his units, with his ravens. The Vikings are still pretty much strong. They could snipe a medivac or two. Yes, slowly but steadily. Yes, indeed, one medivac has been sniped. Oliveira is slowly but steadily moving forward, going for those production buildings. Interesting enough, he has so many barracks here out on the map. Vision should be there with the ravens, with the Vikings. And yet, as soon as the Marines come out, they will be sniped by the tanks. So quite a nice siege for Oliveira versus CLEM. CLEM tries to come in from the back with a group, but there is a raven in the air spotting this, and their stim is also going out. So it looks like Oliveira really wants to intercept those Marines from CLEM. At the same time, he has to protect his siege tanks. And yeah, the siege continues here. The production buildings are slowly but steadily being taken out. At the same time, CLEM is moving here out, and yeah, the Marines also all of a sudden have a new uniform here thanks to that anti-armor shield. So nice spells to have as a but yeah, it looks like CLEM has pretty much had enough. He's now moving out with all of his forces. He's pretty much maxed out, and he's just straight here forward. But the siege tanks are nicely being positioned here, nicely being guarded by this one ledge here, and even the gas is giving them protection. Well, let's see, where is CLEM going to be attacking next? Still having more workers. It looks like he's going straight for a doom drop into the main, into those production buildings. See if it's going to be successful. At the same time, some units are falling here. And yeah, here it is. The main is pretty much under siege now with medivacs, with Marines, with everything CLEM has. At the same time, he's also preparing an attack here. So Oliveira pretty much under siege now. He has brought back his ravens, his Vikings. The siege tanks have been disabled, but at the same time, the Vikings take quite some damage. Seeker missile once again, and Oliveira is here to defend. So this looks like sadly here for CLEM. He has to retreat, but at the same time, those Vikings in the air being able to shut down so many medivacs here. So really nicely done by Oliveira all of a sudden. But still, the siege continues. CLEM still has many more workers, and lots and lots of SCVs will fall here. The planetary might fall here as well. So nice job here by CLEM, almost taking out this one. But yeah, now disable once again has been used, and even anti-armor has been used here as well. So Oliveira throwing everything he has versus CLEM just to secure his bases. Nicely defending CLEM, also at the same time throwing everything he has. But look at the worker count, 40 only for Oliveira, 71 for CLEM. CLEM should be able to come back really fast here into this game. Let's have a look here. So many bases out, so many workers. Army wise, he also has more army, so Oliveira really needs a miracle to come back here. Even the infantry is causing some chaos here, a small group of Marines, but the real action is happening here. Oliveira is actually attacking with so many tanks, 7 tanks for him, going straight for this one planetary fortress. So CLEM really needs to come forward with his units, but at the same time he's trying for a pincer maneuver from the back. He tries to surround those units really soon. You can see it on the minimap. And Oliveira looks like it's pretty much trapped really soon, so he needs to be careful. The rocks will be taken care, but the siege tanks are already attacking those Marines. The Marines here could come from the back, so Oliveira in a very bad situation here. He could be surrounded really soon. CLEM is preparing his forces. He's still on standby, still on hold. But let's see when exactly he's going to attack. In comes the attack straight from the front. The siege tanks are being disabled. This is really important versus CLEM. CLEM is losing so many siege tanks that are not attacking, and now the infantry from Oliveira pretty much can take care of that. CLEM throwing everything he has, but sadly for him, his siege tanks have been disabled, and all of a sudden Oliveira is actually going to be taking here this game. And I was thinking that CLEM was in the advantage for such a long time, but in the end he has lost so much of his army, and yeah, those ravens for Oliveira proving to be the winning point here for him, and also those Vikings in the air being able to snipe the medivacs and the ravens from his opponents. So Oliveira with a very smart strategies. Looks like Vikings are the answer. And we're back with game number 2 in between the two pro players. Once again, let me just start introducing them to you. In the low right, in the blue, it is CLEM from France, and his opponent here from China in the upper left has the red Terran. It is Oliveira. So Oliveira with a great comeback. Those ravens really proving to be very strong, just disabling the tanks from CLEM. So yeah, that was the winning move here for him. And let's not forget that he went really strong onto his Vikings. So those Vikings, of course, sniping the Medivacs, sniping the Ravens, and also ready to snipe the uplifting buildings from the enemy. Now respawning here on Dragon Scales ESL map. Let's have a look if there's going to be once again a difference into the build order, but no such thing yet. I see one gas here for CLEM, the same can be said here for Oliveira. There's the barracks, timing pretty much the same, so it looks like the same build order for both players. Let's see if they're going to be trying something different. Perhaps they will be trying to go for a rush. CLEM not going interesting enough for his second gas, while Oliveira already does this, so seems to be the first difference here into the build order. Perhaps CLEM is going to be trying to be a little bit more aggressive. Perhaps he's saving money for a expansion here, a faster expansion. We're about to find out what his plans are. So still second gas not being made by CLEM. Production tab once again here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something, and gas is already being fully mined by Oliveira. The Reaper is also being produced. I believe the same can be said here for CLEM. And it looks like CLEM is saving money for a faster expansion here, so quite an interesting move by him. So no second gas, I believe this is his plan, going straight indeed for a faster expansion. One SCV is already here into the main from Oliveira, checking what exactly he's doing, and he sees the factory. So the factory will of course be faster here for Oliveira than CLEM, as CLEM has invested of course into the fast expansion. Second gas still not up for him, going for a supply depot here just to block the entrance really soon. Reaper is also out, but a very defensive Reaper of course. We engage the Reaper from Oliveira. And yeah, let's have a look if this is going to work out here for CLEM. This fast expansion here, but Oliveira also does the same. So yeah, I believe a couple of seconds, perhaps half of a minute, it should be faster of a fast expansion for CLEM versus his opponent. The first Hellions are being spawned. Factory should be pretty much ready now for CLEM here as well, as he's also going for a reactor. So let's see, he's going to switch here, so he might try to go for a double Hellion harassment versus his opponent. Starport is being made. Let's have a look at Oliveira really quick. Or he's also swapping his factory towards the tech lab here. So tech lab actually no reactor for him. Look, reactor here, tech lab here for CLEM. What exactly is going for? Some Cyclone. So Cyclone D is going to be Starport. Pretty much the same stuff here for both players. CLEM still playing it defensively with his Hellion. He's expecting of course an attack with massive amounts of Hellions, with massive amounts of Reapers, sorry, but no such thing yet for Oliveira. So Oliveira is also playing pretty much defensively. So yeah, slowly but steadily we're closing in towards the 5-minute mark. There's still no harassment yet by both players. The expansion is pretty much exposed here for CLEM, so he needs to be careful just in case some Reapers are moving here forward. The SCVs are pretty much exposed. He's just pretty much waiting here into this ledge, expecting an attack, but a full attack could happen here into this location. Of course the Hellions are really fast. He even could try to split them, leaving 2 here and 2 onto the other position, but yeah, no such thing here for Oliveira. Actually a Banshee is being made for Oliveira, no Banshee yet here for CLEM. I believe he will be going Medivacs really soon. Perhaps he's going to be trying for a drop versus opponent. Actually he is moving out with his units. There's the Medivac with 2 Hellions in it. Let's see if this is going to be working out for him. So CLEM on the offensive knife, but there are 2 Cyclones here. The Cyclones could target the Medivacs really fast, and we actually do see some Marauders on the ground. Quite a strong push here by CLEM. A nice timing push here with his units. One Cyclone is about to get taken out. The Hellions also suffer quite some damage, and one Banshee is now just moving out straight on time. And sadly here for CLEM, he has lost quite a huge amount of his army. Even the Medivac has been taken out. He did take out 3 SCVs, but in the end this rush was pretty much nicely held by Oliveira, and his Banshee also nicely timed out. So really good job here. Look, he does have a Cyclone at home, so he could intercept this, but there's also a Cyclone here for Oliveira. So much better defense here for Oliveira early on. Tries to attack here. The Hellion is getting repaired, but yeah, now the Banshee comes forward. However, there are some Marines on the ground. Hellion will be taken out. Cyclone also takes some damage as the expansion is pretty much under siege, but we have a Raven, we have a tank, so CLEM should be able to hold his ground here versus this opponent. Even taking out the Banshee, so all of a sudden things have settled down and they're much more balanced, as Oliveira is to retreat back home. Worker-wise pretty much the same amount, army-wise also pretty much the same, so pretty much a nice attempt here by CLEM versus his opponent, but Oliveira nicely holding, pushing it back, but at the same time his offensive also didn't work out. So once again both players on the defense. Let's have a look which one of them is going to be able to attack first. Going to be once again CLEM with his Ravens. There are also 2 Ravens here for Oliveira. Let's see if he's going to be going for some Medivacs, for some Vikings. Actually currently he's just going for massive amounts of barracks, switching his units. Let's just check the main from CLEM. He's also going for a faster expansion, second expansion, and Oliveira with a nice scan sees now everything here. Let's see if Oliveira is also preparing an expansion. Yes, indeed, he also has this expansion in the air. Also having 3 tanks on the ground. Let's check CLEM with his 2 tanks on the high ledge here. Really nice. Now Oliveira just moving forward, securing his expansion with his units. Also sending out a Marine for scouting purposes. And yeah, let's have a look. Like I told you, who is going to be the first attacking the expansion from Oliveira? A little bit faster worker-wise, however, both at the same count, and Oliveira once again taking those Vikings, proving to be really strong for him. Attacking game number 1, once again he's going for more and more Vikings, perhaps just to snipe now currently the Ravens in the air, and also going for some barracks. So quite interesting stuff. CLEM at the same time is also securing his expansion, so nothing out of the ordinary yet, no major engagement, but by the looks of it, Oliveira actually feeling really confident to move out with his 4 tanks, 2 Vikings, 3 Ravens in the air, but more and more Vikings will follow for him as he's moving out. He could disable of course the tanks and then attack. We're about to find out if this is his tactic. Yeah, the Marines are engaging, the siege tanks are sieging up, and really nice job by CLEM this time, disabling those siege tanks at the same time. Here comes the disable here for Oliveira versus the siege tanks from CLEM, so both players nicely doing this, but we have great auto turrets here for Oliveira in the back, so nicely engaging all of those tanks. Sadly here for CLEM, he's going to be losing all of those tanks, and yeah, Oliveira might even try to move here more and more forward as the way is pretty much open. He could even land those Vikings on the ground as he's slowly but steadily pushing here out. So yeah, the tanks are here, nicely positioned by CLEM. He's going to try to land those Vikings. That is the question. Actually sniping this one Raven, and now he could land of course. So such a smart move. Auto turrets here for him. So many CVs will fall. This one Viking might fall here as well. We have Vikings now here for CLEM. But yeah, so much economic damage has been dealt, and auto turrets here left and right. 13 SCVs have been fallen for CLEM. He's pretty much under siege now. Oliveira pretty much in control of the siege, as his tanks have nicely formed a beeline here. At the same time he's also taking this expansion, so very aggressive move out by him. CLEM sadly only at 3 tanks. Oliveira might try to change the position, but no, he's actually retreating now, so or perhaps even changing the position. He might try to go for a straight on assault onto this ledge. Yeah, CLEM has to reposition his tank really fast as in comes Oliveira with his units, with his tanks, and yeah, sadly here for CLEM going to be perhaps losing this one expansion. This could be really huge as he's moving forward. Yes, the expansion is very likely going to fall here. Those Vikings once again proving to be a straight golden decision here by Oliveira versus CLEM. So CLEM pretty much is trying now to throw everything he has versus Oliveira. So now Oliveira having a huge advantage, sniping this one expansion and also sniping so many workers. He currently has 20 more workers than CLEM. CLEM knows this. He has to make something happen here. Oliveira nicely sieging this tank, already dealing splash damage towards the units from CLEM. Yes, slowly but steadily the siege continues. The high ground is over here for Oliveira. The Vikings are also engaging. The tanks are coming in from the back. CLEM is nicely sieging up. The same can be said here for Oliveira, but yeah, let's see who's going to be the victor. There is vision for the tanks from Oliveira, and sadly here for CLEM he's losing so much. His army supply is falling now to 35. I believe Oliveira could take this as he even landed those Vikings, and this will be of course the victory for Oliveira. Very aggressive, a very nice move out by him, securing him the victory versus CLEM. Sadly a bad position here for CLEM, and yeah, very nice strategic gameplay here by Oliveira, by Time from China, taking this series 2-0. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing you, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.